In those first few weeks, Terry and I were able to watch every It Gets Better video as it came in. We had to. We were the only people involved in the project at the time, and we had to watch and approve every video that was submitted. Because, early on it was just me and Terry, and we saw every single one. But now there are 50, 75, 100,000 It Gets Better videos, and we haven't been able to watch every one. So it wasn't until last week when I got an email that I clicked through and watched Timothy McCormick's It Gets Better video, which he titled It Gets Better 2.0. It was short, it's less than 2 minutes long, and it was really very sweet. An Eagle Scout, college student, an EMT living in Indianapolis, Tim was reaching out to LGBT kids and telling them that it gets better and to hang in there, and offering his insight and support. A few of Tim's friends wrote me on Saturday night and pointed me at his video because Tim had died that day, and they wanted me to see it, and they wanted me to give him a shout-out on the podcast, which I'm happy to do. Tim was an EMT, an emergency medical technician, and he was driving an ambulance in downtown Indiana that was slammed into by another car, by another driver. The ambulance flipped on its side, Tim's ambulance, slid down the street, smashed into a parked car, and both Tim and the other EMT in the ambulance died. Tim died at the scene, and his colleague died the next day in the hospital. Both of them were wearing their seatbelts. Do you know how heavy an ambulance is? Do you know how hard you have to hit an ambulance to flip it on its side and send it down the street and kill two people inside it who were wearing their seatbelts? I don't want to dwell on the driver of the other car. Police officers smelled alcohol on her, and she claims she only had 2 drinks and they were weak, and she only finished one of those drinks and only drank half of the other one. But they've taken blood. No charges have been filed yet. We'll see where that goes. Anyway, I wanted to give Tim the shout out that his friends asked me to, and here I am giving it. I also can't help talking about Tim's death in Indianapolis. Think about what was going on in Sullivan, Indiana, which is about 75 miles outside of Indianapolis. Haven't talked about it on the podcast, but I've been blogging about it a lot. Sullivan, Indiana's Sullivan High School, was doing the right thing. There are gay kids at that school who are going to prom, who are bringing their same-sex dates, and they're going to participate in something called the March. And this suddenly became a controversy because the school heard from some bigoted anti-LGBT parents who didn't want gay kids participating in prom or being a part of the March. And the school told them in schoolese, politely, to go fuck themselves. So they began to organize an alternate prom. And this story broke, and there was a news story that was a little bit muddled, where it wasn't clear whether the school was discriminating or there was an alternate prom being planned, but it was an alternate prom, and they were going to have a private prom that would exclude queer kids. Anyone who remembers Constance McMillan remembers that her school was forced to allow her and her female date to attend prom, so there was an alternate prom organized that the entire school went to, and there was no one at the alternate prom except a handful of students with Constance. So alternate proms have been organized in the past with the connivance of schools, but this isn't the case. It's not what's happening in Sullivan. There's a small group of anti-gay bigots who are organizing a private prom. And there was an interview. I'm going to cut to the chase. There was an interview, and a teacher was interviewed, Diana Medley. And she's not a teacher at Sullivan High School. She's a teacher at a neighboring school. And she indicated that she had gay students. She was a special ed teacher. And she was asked point blank by the reporter, after she'd already said that she didn't believe anybody was actually gay and that gay people chose to be gay and that we don't have to be gay. She was asked if she believed that gay people, including her gay students, by implication, had a purpose in life. And she said, her answer, and I quote, and verbatim, "Do gay people have a purpose in life? Do you believe that gay people have a purpose in life?" Diana Medley: "No, I don't." I couldn't help but think of Diana Medley when I was reading about Timothy McCormick's death. Here was a guy, an EMT, driving an ambulance. I think he had a purpose in life. He was serving the people of Indianapolis when he died. His purpose was saving lives. And he was gay. And here we have Diana Medley, special ed teacher in a public school, who says she has LGBT students that she interacts with, saying that gay people have no purpose in life. It makes your blood boil. My blood was already boiling about Diana Medley when I sat and watched Timothy McCormick's It Gets Better video, because the Diana Medley story was roaring along before Timothy McCormick was in that accident, before his friend sent me an email, before I found my way to his It Gets Better video. And what did I see at his video? What did I see watching Timothy McCormick's It Gets Better video? I saw a better Christian than anybody I saw in the news reports from Sullivan, Indiana. Anybody at that meeting where they were organizing an anti-gay prom. Listen to what he had to say about people who bully, pick on, or marginalize queer kids. Listen to what he has to say.
If anyone doubts you, prove them wrong. If anyone ridicules you, make them look bad, not you. Actually, no. Don't make them look bad. You're above that. You're worth more than stooping down to their level. You are better than hatred.
The anti-gay haters in Sullivan, and not all the people of Sullivan are anti-gay. I think most of the people in Sullivan have roundly rejected this small group of people and their effort to create an event that excludes gay kids. But the anti-gay haters in Sullivan have a Facebook page called 2013 Sullivan Traditional Prom. And one of the organizers, you can find that on Facebook, one of the organizers of this hate group wants us all to know that, quote, this is not a hate group, close quote. The 2013 Sullivan Traditional Prom is just a group that has been organized, with the sole purpose of creating an alternate prom that excludes gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender students. And to achieve that end, this group and its members are going on television and calling LGBT kids offensive, sick, sinful. And Diana Medley, Christian, is going on television and saying that gay, lesbian, bi, and trans kids have no purpose in life. How is that not hatred? You get angry, and then you blow up, as I have done last week or two on Slog about this. Then you watch Timothy's video, and you see him say, rise above it. You see him say to LGBT kids in Indiana who are being bullied, who are being picked on, don't stoop to their level. Which reminds me just a bit of turn the other cheek. Which reminds me just a bit of do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If all you saw, let's say you didn't know anything about what's going on in Sullivan, you didn't know anything about Timothy McCormick's death, if all you saw were two clips and you saw this woman telling LGBT kids that they serve no purpose in life, they have no reason to be on this earth, and you saw Timothy McCormick telling LGBT kids that they're better than hatred, to rise above it, not to stoop to their level, who would you think was the better Christian? I think the answer is pretty obvious. There's a Facebook page for people who support an inclusive prom at Sullivan High School. The haters Facebook page, the Facebook page for people who want to create a prom that excludes LGBT kids, has 54 supporters. The Support the Sullivan High School Prom for All Students page on Facebook now has nearly 30,000 supporters. There are more good people out there than bad people. There are more Timothy McCormicks out there in the world than Diana Medleys out there in the world. And it's important, like Timothy told us, that we not stoop to their level. Tim died serving the people of Indiana. What a rebuke to people who look at queer people and see nothing but sex and nothing but sin. What a rebuke Timothy's death is. These people like Diana Medley, who cannot see the humanity, who cannot see the life and the love in the lives of queer people, cannot see our purpose. The best monument to Tim's life would be Diana Medley coming around, seeing the error of her ways, and asking for forgiveness from her students who are LGBT, those same students whose lives she described as worthless. Let's leave Diana Medley behind. We are better than hatred. And you know what? She is too. And I hope that one day she sees that.